Attention passengers. This is your co-pilot speaking. Your pilot is black mind, so you are not going blind and there is no power failure. You are merely experiencing the immense blackness of his proximity, and when you hear his voice, you and the cabin will get even darker than you are currently. We will be cruising at the speed equal to light, because the one other thing that travels equally fast is darkness. Your loved ones awaiting your arrival may not recognize you at first sight. This is normal. Simply tell them about the pilot, and they will understand. We will taxi to the runway now, so please buckle up and prepare for a high-speed departure. Thank you for choosing Jet Black Airways, where the phrase jet black is also a verb. We hope you keep jetting black with us until the wings and the wheels fall off. Justice forever.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. To some of you and peace out to the rest of you. Hit the share button because the message is more important than the messenger. Let me go ahead and let you listen to somebody right quick. Hold on.
So I'd actually like to start off by asking you guys a couple of questions. I'm kind of curious, what do you guys do for a living?
We're a content creator.
What type of content do you make? You do like makeup videos, gaming videos, what type of stuff?
We do only bros, only homies.
And what type of videos do you make on that?
Corn.
Corn.
Right. Very evil. Oh, just a quick response to that. I've been on Neon's stream a couple of days ago. He's a great guy. I wanted to let me come back on and talk to him. I didn't know that I was going to be talking to a bunch of illiterate people who don't know how to read. But
You're literally 15. What do you know?
you know how to read.
Yes, I do know how to read.
Name 10 books.
Are you serious?
Yes, 100%. Name 10 books.
Well, I read.
She goes on to name Game of Thrones, and he asks her after this, well, what is the name of the book? The book is not entitled Game of Thrones. And she doesn't know. This guy was unfazed. 15, unfazed. When I was 15, 3 decades ago, you could not get 15-year-old guys to look past something like this. 15-year-old guys were openly and obviously too easily impressed and too easily distracted. That was wrong. This guy here is right. This man, and I'm a young man, at 15, is showing guys my age that, contrary to what we thought and insisted, we could have been exactly the right way, the way that we needed to be. We could have been as unfazed by these broads as they were by us. We just refused to be. We actually were willing to sit up at that age under the assumption that God just made a mistake. And that's blasphemous to say this about God. If you subconsciously assume this, then you have subconsciously committed blasphemy. And that's how we were. Oh, God just forgot to give women the same interest in us that we have in them. An assumption we made. He just forgot. Or didn't forget, which would have made it malicious. We never stopped to think that because, by definition, God would not be forgetful nor malicious without provocation, that more than likely it was as simple as women had a similar interest in us, that we are a similar interest in men that we had in them, just not in as many men. And that it wasn't as hopeless as what it seemed, as they made it seem, because God is balanced. He set the balance. Actually, the balance is. And therefore, he would have set this balance, but that we were simply looking at ladies that they weren't blunt enough and honest enough and mature enough to admit to the balance. because it would have meant that they didn't have an upper hand over us. That's what we're looking at. And this boy 15 gets it. Now I'm sitting up here. I didn't know I'd be talking to a bunch of illiterates that don't even know how to read. Name 10 books. And he was right to ask them for 10. Absolutely. There's a lot to be said for people who read, and we are looking at a generation of youth that pretty much feel they don't need to read. And we're looking at, fortunately, a generation of boys that do understand the importance of reading, even if in our community a lot of them don't know how. And a lady mentioned something that's turned into a series, a movie series, and didn't know the name of the book that differed from the series into which it was turned. I don't know. But then I can name 10 other books. You're looking at these ladies who have not bothered because reading is not fundamental to them. And you know what could have really driven the point home would have been if this conversation had happened over text and we could have seen how these ladies wrote in their own first languages. Gentlemen, we're looking at a generation of this, and this is not the first one, probably the third generation of airheaded broads. But we should be proud of these young guys, because these young guys are on the right track to at least start the process by which one day in the future, hopefully the near future, broads this ditzy and airheaded won't be able to breed. It's not quite there yet, but these guys are at least starting off that process. At least there are guys that are young and willing to set themselves apart into a class with which these women cannot breed if they're going to be that stupid and ditzy. Hats off to them. Thank you all for listening. Black Heart, Black Mind, Blackout, Assalamu Alaikum, and Black Heterosexual, non-select male power just because she doesn't like it in Black patriarchy until extinction or Judgment Day.